Now, an interesting little fact about this bridge is that it's actually the oldest bridge built only of stone in South Africa. So I found this quite fascinating. Welcome back to the channel. I'm about to depart from beautiful Montagu. Well, I almost did not make it to Montagu in the first place. If you want to see more of this, please have a look at the previous video when I drove from Van Wyksdorp to Montagu, and I almost didn't make it because I almost ran out of fuel. So it was touch and go. I had to do some freewheeling the last part into the town to make sure I make it to Montagu. But now I'm ready to go again. The trip now will take us all the way to Franschhoek, and I think this is going to be a beautiful drive. Unfortunately, not really dirt roads, but I think we will drive through some of the most beautiful roads and passes in South Africa. To leave Montagu, one now will drive through the beautiful Cogmanskloof Pass. The whole town of Montagu is surrounded by mountains, so you have to follow some pass or wind your way through some mountains to get to Montagu. Oh, but it's just a beautiful town. Just look at the bougainvillea here next to the road. Oh, thanks for joining me on this trip. I hope you will enjoy the roads. So for the next 5.5 kilometers we will be riding the Cogmanskloof Pass. Not sure if you can see it, but you can see how the rocks have been twisted and turned, almost molded like clay. So the road to Franschhoek is about 140 kilometers. And it will take about 2 hours or more to ride. The one beautiful feature of the Cogmanskloof Pass is that at one part a hole had to be made through the mountain to actually enter the pass. Now this is in front of us, the little hole in the pass, and on top of it is a old fort. Now that old fort was built by the English in the Anglo-Boer War of 1899 to 1902 to protect this pass, and apparently it ensured that no Boer people were able to enter the pass during the war. Yeah, so there you may be able to see the old fort on top, and this is the beautiful feature here in the pass. So this is the end of the Cogmanskloof Pass, and as you exit the pass you are almost immediately in the little town of Ashton. So we will just pass through. Ashton has a river flowing through here, and it had quite a low bridge a number of years ago that made it prone to flooding. So this bridge was replaced by a much more modern bridge only a few years ago, probably 2-3 years ago. You can see this bridge in front. It actually disrupted the traffic flowing through Ashton on this R62 for a number of years while the bridge was constructed. But now the bridge, I think, is actually quite a nice feature of Ashton. Actually the Cogmans River that flows through Ashton. The road from Ashton then leads to Robertson. Only a short drive, about 15 kilometers or so to get to Robertson. I'm not exactly sure what route the GPS will take us, but the idea is to right to Robertson, and then from Robertson take the road to Villiersdorp. Welcome to the town of Robertson. I'm now about 10 kilometers away from Worcester, but we're going to turn away now on the R60 in direction Villiersdorp. Yeah, just riding into the town of Villiersdorp. Oh, it's quite a bit of a against the wind riding up until Villiersdorp. I hope the road will turn a bit. But yeah, all the star riding has made for good progress. I see I'm only 34 kilometers away from Franschhoek. So yeah, close to Villiersdorp is of course the Theewaterskloof Dam. Here one can see some part of it already. The water level of the Theewaterskloof Dam is really high. A few years ago this dam was almost completely empty. And seeing that this is the main water source for the city of Cape Town, that was a serious concern. But yeah, with very good winter rainfall in the past few years, this dam level has remained close to 100%. It was actually overflowing for quite some time in the past 2 winters. Yeah, you can see it's very full at the moment. The R45 to Franschhoek is turning off here where the bridge goes over the Theewaterskloof Dam, or a part of the dam. But let's first make a stop and have a look at the dam. Yeah, it's really wonderful to see this dam so full. It might be very close to overflowing, because if I just look where the level is, well, if it's not at its maximum, it's very close. It's really a large dam, by far the largest in the Western Cape, and that's why it's the main source of water for the city of Cape Town. Yeah, so I started this journey today in Still Bay and took a few detours via Van Wyksdorp and then Anysberg and then onto Montagu. I had a few incidents that I lost my route a bit when I lost signal. Just before Montagu, so that was quite a longer ride. If you want to see any of those videos, please make sure to go and look at the previous videos in this series. But I'm doing this of course with my Honda CRF Rally. I bought this motorcycle about 3 months ago now, and this is the first really long trip that I'm doing. So 2 days ago I took the road from Cape Town to Still Bay via the coast, even went to Cape Agulhas in the southernmost point of Africa. But now I'm on my way back home on the last stretch of this journey. The destination for today is Franschhoek, which is not very far away. But yeah, let's go Franschhoek via the Franschhoek Pass. That will surely be a very beautiful ride, so let's go and have a look. Okay, Franschhoek is only 25 kilometers, so it's even closer than I thought. But we will cruise along the edge of the dam for a little bit more. Even seems to have some sandy stretches here next to the side of the dam. We are now just at the bottom of the Franschhoek Pass. The mountains are just towering here in front of us. And of course the town of Franschhoek lies just beyond those mountains. So we need to cross over. So there has been damage to this road, so some parts of it is still being repaired in the single lane. So one just needs to check for cars from the front. It looks safe to go now. What a lovely ride. So this is the Joubert bridge. Let me just make a stop here. Yeah, I just made a stop here at the Joubert bridge in the Franschhoek Pass. I just want to take out my apple a bit and just take a bit of a break. I'm looking forward to this apple for some time now. An interesting little fact about this bridge is that it's actually the oldest bridge built only of stone in South Africa. So I found this quite fascinating. The British military built this in the 1800s. I will have to go and check the year again. But yeah, it's a little snippet of a fact that it's the oldest in South Africa. So let's just walk a bit closer and have a bit of a look. Maybe if we just look down here, yeah, you can see some of the other stonework. Ah, there's some stairs. Okay, so there you can see the whole dome shape of the bridge. So that was the Joubert bridge in the Franschhoek Pass. It's really a beautiful pass to ride. It's not very long. There's some interesting stopping spots next to the road. And of course, when you come from this side, you end up in the town of Franschhoek, which is, of course, one of the oldest towns in South Africa with a very distinct French character. And this is where the ride for the day will end. So I'm looking for a very specific spot to stop. And I will tell you more once I get into the town. But yeah, let's go. Oh, that was a lovely stop at the Joubert bridge. I just want to make one other stop here in the Franschhoek Pass. There's actually a nice viewing point over the town of Franschhoek, not too far from here. We are still climbing to the top. Okay, so just before we go on the descent, just make a stop here at the viewing point. Yeah, from here you can really see the whole Franschhoek Valley. You see the whole town of Franschhoek as well as a lot of the wine farms. It's really secluded amongst various mountain peaks there. Okay, but let's drive down and get into the town. You can just see on the GPS how tight this hairpin bend is. Probably the tightest one in all of the pass. Yo. One of the single lane passing spots again. Seems to be clear. Yeah, and there is the Franschhoek Valley. We are getting into Franschhoek now. Now, as I mentioned, it's got a very distinct French character, and this is due to French Huguenots that came to settle this valley from France when they were fleeing the Catholics. So it was French Protestants that came and settled here and started their wine farms. Many French names are just prominent here in Franschhoek, and there's also a monument, the French Huguenot monument, that was erected to commemorate the French Huguenots. It's a monument as well as a museum here on the left hand side. So you can see the beautiful buildings here, and the monument itself is a bit further back. Yeah, so there to the left you can see the French Huguenot monument. Yeah, very French. I mean, it's got its own Bastille Day festival and many festivals actually that commemorate the French heritage of this town. So we're now going to ride through the main street of Franschhoek. It is one of the most touristy places in South Africa, so for people coming to Cape Town and wanting to see the winelands and the surrounding area, Franschhoek is probably one of the top destinations. So there's lots of restaurants, art galleries, and just overall beautiful buildings here in Franschhoek. But I'm gonna just ride through the town. I had my one and only coffee for the day around 8 o'clock this morning in Theewaterskloof. So now it is 400 kilometers later, and many hours later. It's already 4:45 in the afternoon, and I think I will just go and enjoy a coffee at one of my most favorite coffee spots. You can see how busy it is here. I think this is the town hall. There is the church, probably the Dutch Reformed Church. Beautiful, 1841 it was built. Okay, so I'm just going to make a a right turn here in front at Terbodore Coffee. Seems like they are still open. Would you still be able to make me a coffee? Oh, can I have a cappuccino, please? Thank you very much. Yes, I still managed to get my coffee here at Terbodore Coffee in Franschhoek. They're actually closing at 5. What is it now? 10 to 5. So I just made it. It is really tasting very good. But this also brings us to the end of the video for today. Thank you for joining me on this trip from Montagu to Franschhoek. I hope you enjoyed it. I think the Franschhoek Pass is a very special pass to drive, and doing it on a ride with the Honda CRF was really great. Thank you very much for joining, and then if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And then until my next rides, I will be doing some more rides in future and post some more videos, so please make sure to hit that bell to be alerted when I load more videos. Thank you for riding along, and then until next time, keep well, bye bye.